Welcome everyone to another Chatz with Charnie. Today we have a guest all the way from Luxembourg who will be giving us a bit more information on what life is like in Luxembourg. We're continuing with our South Africans Abroad series, and I'm just so excited to have Margot with us today. So Margot, please introduce yourself. Tell us where you are and what's life been like.
So my name is Margot. I've been living in Luxembourg for almost 4 years. It's quite crazy to say this. Luxembourg, for not a lot of people know where it is. I know when I told people the first time I'm coming to Luxembourg, they were like, is it in Germany? Is it in Belgium? But it's actually a teeny tiny country in between Belgium, France, and Germany. It's not a big city where I am. It's what I like about Luxembourg is it's a small city, so you can walk to a lot of places, you can cycle, and it doesn't take a lot of time to get anywhere. And it's a mixture of the old city walls and old fortifications with the new skyscrapers. So it's kind of like a mix of old world charm and then also modern buildings. So yeah, I can't actually believe it's been so long, but it's been a ride.
I can only imagine. And I've been researching Luxembourg quite a bit during 2020, and super in like financial services hub. I think the EU or the UN is there, one of the two. And so it is quite a popular place with so many people there from all around the world. So it's an awesome place to meet other internationals as well, from what I've researched. But now, Margot, we knew each other around the time that you started looking for work, and I know
Yes.
that Luxembourg was not your only option. So tell me, why did you choose Luxembourg and how did the opportunity arise?
So I always knew that I wanted to go work abroad. I just didn't quite know where. So I started putting out feelers to a few places, and I got hold of a recruiter who's in Amsterdam, and they actually have a lot of South African people working for them. And I reached out to them, and because I thought maybe I'll see if they have anything in Amsterdam, because it's, there's a lot of Africans living there, and I knew a lot of people at the time that were also doing secondments there or working there. So I reached out to them, and they told me that at the time they didn't really have anything in Amsterdam, but they had opportunities in Luxembourg. So, coming from South Africa and not really, at that time I've only been to Germany on an exchange program, but I've never really been in Europe. So for me, Amsterdam and Luxembourg, they were like 4 hours apart or something. So I was like, how different can it really be? And they made it really easy. They took care of everything. So at the end of the day, I took this opportunity to come to Luxembourg. And obviously now I know Luxembourg and Amsterdam is very different. But at the time I was like, you know what? Europe, same, even though, now I know better. So I just got on the plane and I came, and it was, the rest is history.
So speaking about the history part, what has your quality of life been like since you've left South Africa and you've moved to Luxembourg? What has changed, and what do you appreciate about living there now?
So I would say like Luxembourg and South Africa is very different. Lots of people have asked me this question, and I always say you can't really compare the two countries, because on the one hand, while I lived in South Africa, there's a lot of great things that I had here that I don't have in Luxembourg. So for example, I love the beach, being close to the beach, being close to the sea, just having like Table Mountain on your doorstep, the nature, and the sun. I think many times I thought, if people tell me, ugh, the weather, I didn't realize what a big impact it has on your mentality until you move to a country where it was a few months until I saw the sun for the first time. Okay. And you move into a winter, for example, at 5 o'clock, it's dark. So it's really something to get used to. And we don't really, I think, know how blessed we are in South Africa with the amount of sunshine and nice days we have. So I would say in terms of outdoor lifestyle, things like that, I do miss South Africa. And I think that was a part of my life that I really enjoyed, is being outdoors, being able to do trail runs and things like that without, having really to think about it. But then moving to Luxembourg, I realized for the first time what it means to really be free, have like freedom of movement, I would say it's extremely safe. So I never think twice about walking alone. If you're at a party at night or you're in the city and you have to go home, you get on the bike, you walk home alone. I get alone on the bus, and you don't really think twice about it.
Yeah.
So in terms of your mobility, Luxembourg is much better. I don't have a car, for example. So it's an hour of my day where I commute, where I sit in the bus and I can actually speak to my family. I can do my admin. It's an hour that I save that I'm not in traffic.
That's true.
It's only once I moved there that I realized, the amount of anger you sometimes have in the morning just by sitting in traffic. And now you start your day and it's actually calm, and I get to work and I'm not frustrated and I'm not stressed. And so I would say in terms of mobility, really being able to go everywhere without having to plan everything in advance. And factor really, I go walking in the parks, we go running in the parks, I go running in the forest, and I don't even really think twice about, I need to be with someone, I can't be alone. So in terms of that, I really think my quality of life has enhanced with terms of, safety, freedom of movement, and things like that.
And what has the food been like? Because I've heard that restaurant life is quite expensive in Luxembourg, but that if you go to like a normal grocery store or something, it might be cheaper. What is that like?
So yes, Luxembourg is really expensive in terms of restaurants. And I think because it is probably one of the most expensive countries, when we do go travel, you always go travel to a country that's either cheaper or the same. So I think I'm used to everything being very expensive. Whenever we do go out in, say, Spain or Italy, for example, you're like, wow, this is really affordable.
Yeah, it's so cheap. Yeah, yes. I had the same experience. Then you end up buying like all the amazing foods and going to all the restaurants. Yeah, I know.
Yes. So we do. There's a lot of South Africans living in Luxembourg, and we have a kind of a very nice friends group. So we do a lot of dinners at each other's houses, or, for example, lockdown, my roommate and I, since we couldn't really go out to restaurants, we decided to bring the restaurants to our house. So we had the weekends, we decided to do like a Mexican night, or we made nachos and margaritas, and then one evening we did like steak, and we became very good at making cocktails and, just giving ourselves a restaurant experience at home.
Oh, that's awesome.
So in terms of groceries, the food is, I would say if you have to compare it rand for rand, euro for euro, you would think that the food is really expensive, but in comparison to your disposable income, it's quite affordable to do your own grocery shopping. So that's why we tend to, have dinners at home, eat at home. But when we do go out, which we do enjoy, we obviously, make an evening of it and enjoy ourselves. And I would say the salaries are adjusted so you can go out. It's not that you are going to have a dinner at home every night.
Yeah, obviously. You need to also splurge and enjoy yourself and socialize.
Yeah.
You were talking about going to countries that's either cheaper or at the same level of affordability that Luxembourg is. So tell us, and I know because I follow you on Instagram, how many places have you been to outside of Luxembourg, and what has been your favorite place thus far?
So I would say I did a quick count this morning, and I think I've been to about 20 countries since I've lived in Luxembourg, if I count in Luxembourg.
That makes me want to cry. Do you know that, right? It's really like the tears are swelling right now because like I
would say, Chanel, you will hate me, but I've been to Vietnam and I know that you really want to go to Vietnam.
Listen, Listen, you need to calm down now, okay? Don't bring up my things here.
So
Oh my word, that must have
yes,
been amazing. Like the culture must have just been so awesome. Oh, I can't wait.
we went last year about this time over Christmas. It was amazing. It was a it was my first time going to Asia, so it was an experience and a half. It, I think I had a friend who told me, she's like, you know what, maybe Vietnam is not the best country to go visit the first time you go to Asia because it's a bit wild. And
I'll keep that in mind.
she said maybe you want to maybe start with Thailand or mid more. And I said it. I have people that wanted to go, and
Yeah.
we planned a really nice trip, and we did both like the mainland and the north. I've not really been in the south, but we did like a nice 10-12 day trip, and the food was really good. Although I have to say, and I hope there's no Vietnamese people that watch this video, but we have a place in Luxembourg that makes really, really good Vietnamese food. And so when I went to Vietnam, the bar is quite high. And it was good to see that this restaurant in Luxembourg is very much on par, if not maybe a bit better than some of the meals in Vietnam.
I'm literally gonna tell my boyfriend not to watch this episode.
But it was the food was really good. But then, kudos to this restaurant in Luxembourg for doing it really well.
Well done, well done, well done to them. So was Vietnam your favorite place? Because I know that when I went to Palma in Mallorca, you said that you loved that place. So which one or which country has been your favorite thus far?
Charnie, it's really hard because I've been, when people ask me this, I always say, can I have a top five? Because top one is very, very little. It's very,
Yeah.
it's narrowing it down. And I've had really good experience and I've really bad travel experiences, but the good has always, come out on top. So I would say my favorite place, my favorite trip that I had was we went to the Isle of Skye. Not a lot of people know where this is. This is in Scotland, but right on the west of Scotland. And so you have to we did a road trip. We rented a car. We were 4 people. We all met up in Edinburgh, and then we went out on a road trip. And it was just so amazing because it's so green and it's so untouched, and I really felt like you could connect to nature and the place. And I think it was a combination of the trip, the people, the food, the place. It was just magical. It was a long weekend, but it was definitely, one of the most memorable trips I had. It was so simple, and so, I just felt so connected with nature. And because there was not a lot of tourists, I think there were more sheep than people. It was sheep and just nature, so it was brilliant. And then Greece, after this year, has a very soft spot in my heart because even though it was COVID and there were some travel restrictions, we still managed to go to Greece. And we basically, Santorini, we had to ourselves. There were not a lot of people, and we managed to get some really nice pictures and go around. And it was one of the first trips that I did that we didn't plan everything, because my friend and I, the two of us that went, we were both working until the last minute, and it was a really busy time, and we just couldn't plan anything in advance. Yeah. So it was great. We got there in Santorini, and everything we could just decide on the day and plan on the day and go. And there wasn't, sorry, it's fully booked. Sorry. The only time was when we wanted to go to this restaurant that it was packed, and we could see when we got there, it's this is a place you obviously have to book for. But the rest, we told our hotel, the guy who ran the hotel we were staying at, can we organize this? And he, organized this. Can we do this? And he organized this, and it was just amazing. So I think traveling in COVID was kind of like high risk, high reward.
No, I completely get that. I wasn't able to do any luxury travel, but I did go to Ireland for like 2 months, and just being able like to go to the countryside and then not being like hordes of people there and like wanting to go to restaurants and it's not like smashed pack and everything like that. It was really something different to what you experience when you
Yeah.
go traveling for the luxury experience. So I
Yes.
can completely understand that, and it must have been like awesome. And Philip, Greece is still on my list. Like my Schengen visa is expiring at the end of next year, and Greece and Croatia. I told like my friends, I don't care about any of the other countries that's in Europe. Those are the only two that I have to go to. Like I
Yeah.
can't wait.
I would say put Croatia on the list. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think you won't see bluer water, and even I was surprised at how nice Zagreb was to me. I didn't think that I would enjoy the big city, and we actually spent one night in Zagreb, and it was so alive. Like everybody was just outside, and but it was during the World Cup, and Croatia was obviously in the finals, and
Yes,
everything
I
in Zagreb.
remember.
All the war statues that they have everywhere had like the flags draped as capes, and everybody just super happy that Croatia was in the final. So I think it was a combination of being there at the right time and everything. So but I would definitely recommend, if you can go, you should.
Oh no, definitely. I don't care about the work, I don't care about the money. I will make a plan to get
Yeah.
there. So tell us,
And
continue, sorry.
and I would say probably, sorry, I've interrupted you. It's just like I said, I can't narrow it down to one, because also when you asked about the quality of life, I guess I forgot to mention that, now I get to travel quite easily, get around quite easily, and it's something I probably would have never been able to do, or it was something I couldn't do really when I lived in South Africa, which I can do now, without thinking too much about it, which is really great. And it's something that I really appreciate living in Luxembourg. It's the opportunity to be able to see all these places, which, as you know, I love to do.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a tremendous blessing to have that opportunity to travel the world, to see new places, to meet new people, to try new foods, and to really just broaden your horizon, because that's what it does. It makes you see the world differently. You change your perspective on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think you just become more of a wholesome person, because
Yes.
the things that used to be big to you are like become smaller. Things become more
Yes.
trivial when you move out and you venture out into the world. So no,
Yeah.
that is awesome. And I really hope that more people, especially from South Africa, do get that opportunity and take the opportunity when
Yeah.
it comes to them to do what we've been doing
Yeah.
like what you've been doing for the past 4 years. So, I mean, that's awesome. So you've
Yeah.
been gone for 4 years. You've traveled to 20 different countries, including Asia and Europe. You've done a exchange program while you were in Germany. What were the things that you missed the most about South Africa when you were out on your travels and relocating to other countries?
Okay. What I would say I miss the most about South Africa is obviously my friends and my family. But I do think that WhatsApp calls and Skype, and that has made the world a much smaller place. So it's easy to stay connected. It's easy to see what's so happening. We have a family group, and we always post pictures and things. So I never feel like I'm out of the loop with what's happening here. And I miss the beach a lot. It's having lived in Cape Town previously and being so close to Clifton and Camps Bay and Blouberg. So it was quite an adjustment moving to a country that's landlocked, and now suddenly you have to get on a plane to go to the beach or take a drive across Belgium to go to the Belgian coast. So I do miss that a lot. And what else can I say? Yes. So I think we take for granted a lot that in South Africa, most people can understand, speak English, help you in English, even if it's just a little bit. Whereas when I moved to Luxembourg, I quickly realized that's not really the case everywhere in Europe. Not everywhere people will be able to help you in English, or maybe want to help you in English, but it's it's had some interesting experiences. There's been some frustration, as well, things that get lost in translation. Google Translate becomes your best friend. I would say, since English is not a national language of Luxembourg, it's German, French, and Luxembourgish. It obviously means that none of your contracts or things that's legally binding is in English as well. So, having to sign a lease contract, having to sign your insurance contract in French, it was quite daunting at the start. But luckily, I have always had great colleagues that were able to assist in this process, and some of them have been lawyers. So it has been a great help, that they can just go over the contract and tell you, is everything okay? Is there anything you should watch out for? Is there any terms that can be better? So I would definitely say, if you choose to move there, make a French friend that can, preferably a lawyer that can look at your contracts and just, tell you if you're on the right path. And yes, standing in a supermarket and having to explain a cooler box to the guy that works in the store, you're like, you feel so unbelievably stupid, but that's the only way. And the interesting things you have to come up with to get your point across sometimes. But I also believe that if I didn't move there, I would probably have never gotten out of that comfort zone, and it has forced me to kind of learn a new language. So I've taken some French lessons. I'm by no means fluent, but I can help myself. And the most important, I can order a coffee and a croissant in French, and I can make a restaurant booking, and I can say je ne sais pas, and and I don't know, I don't understand. I think, je ne comprends pas becomes your best friend. I don't understand.
That sounded so amazing. I would never know that it means I don't understand. That sounded like something very fancy.
I mean, sometimes I would be in a place and someone who doesn't understand English will tell me in English, I don't understand. And then, it breaks my brain. I'm like, but you just answered me in English. Until you moved there, and I realized literally the only French phrase I could say at a stage was, I don't understand, in French.
So now we know.
Yes.
Just learn the most important key phrases to make them know you don't understand.
Exactly. Survival guide, just the basics to help you. And also learning a bit of Luxembourgish. So that's a bit more German. So sometimes I feel like my brain is so, saturated, and I don't think I can learn something more, but you just, get in it, and you have to speak and stop thinking you sound stupid. And that's the biggest thing I struggle with, is just, speaking and forgetting how I sound. But I'm like, we joke and we say, like, I'm so international. I can speak like 4 languages. Even though I really can't. I can speak.
I can say like 5 words in each language.
Yes, 5 words in each, and that's okay. So, so I think there's been some interesting things that's come out of moving to a country which is, has a bit of a language barrier, where I would say if you would go maybe to the Netherlands or to the UK at least, you would not have that. But I think I've had some interesting experiences in trying to make myself heard. Yeah.
But that's what gives you that additional experience that makes you love a place more, makes you appreciate it more, and it also makes you want to stay, because you're learning new things, you're moving out of your comfort zone, you are experiencing new things, and that just gives you that full experience.
Yeah.
It's awesome. No, it's awesome. So you've been to all these places. I feel like you have a really wealth of knowledge and experiences from all the places you've traveled to, but also living in Luxembourg, as you've just said. What would be your advice to the South Africans sitting at home, considering moving abroad, thinking about it, not sure if they should or if they shouldn't? What would be your advice to that person?
I would say, I always tell people, just go. Just experience something new, step out, and, just be taken with any experience that comes your way. Nothing really at the end of the day is very permanent. I saw a quote somewhere that said, you're not a tree. If you don't like where you are, move. So I think nothing is really that permanent. If you made the choice and you don't like it, unless you maybe spent a lot of money and you wanted to make a temporary move and you sold a lot of things, and maybe it's not that easy. But if you have the opportunity to go and you have relatively few commitments, I would just say, go experience it. If it's not for you, come back, go to a different place. I would say that I think it's important to do your homework. I do think it's important to really think if you would be able to fit into a country. I think one of the biggest considerations for me for Luxembourg was, because it's such an international environment, there's a lot of expats. It is easier to make friends because a lot of people, it's not their own country. So we are all looking to belong and make friends. So making friends in Luxembourg has not been that hard. It's actually been quite, you meet people and everybody's looking to meet new people. So I really think try to choose a country where you would at least see you will be able to fit in if it's not relatively the same culture.
Yeah.
I would say if you, for instance, maybe have a spouse or something like that, to check if that person would be able to work there, because lots of the times if it's not in English and it's another language, it can pose a bit of an issue to get a job or the job that you want. So, and also, like for instance, a lot of people have asked me about this, and I always tell them, if you are someone that loves a big city or a bustling city, or something equivalent to Amsterdam or London or Frankfurt or like Cape Town, Joburg, if you're looking for a big city with lots of things going on, then I don't necessarily think you'll like Luxembourg, because it's a small city. It's there's not necessarily that many things going on. Yes, there's nice bars, nice restaurants. What I do love about Luxembourg is the nature around it. It's 5 kilometers out and you're in a forest. There's so many forests. There's so much, countryside. So it's an absolutely dream for people that like cycling and running, because there's just so much nature as well. So, but if you're looking for like a massive city, then, maybe don't consider Luxembourg necessarily. Also, I would say to just think about the language as well. If you are someone that's not necessarily going to want to adapt to a different language, then you should also consider that. Also, look what your rent will be. Have a good salary expectation. Yes, just do your homework and make sure you make an informed decision, I would say.
That is so, so, so important, because a lot of times we just jump into something without really doing the particular research that we have to do in terms of the rent. What will be my cost of living if I move abroad? Do they actually speak English? Is English the business language? And if I go out to a grocery store, or if I'm going to the bank, will they understand me in English as well?
Yes.
So I completely get that. Thank you so much, Margot. I think that will be extremely helpful to the viewers. We are moving on to the next part of our interview, which is the rapid 30-second questions.
Yes.
You have 30 seconds to answer as many questions as you can about yourself. I think the most that we got was 9 with Yanni, or 8 with Yanni. And Yanni in Vietnam. And then our average has been 6 across the board. So let's see how well you do on this one.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. Do you see my screen with a 30-second timer?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And you're ready, right? You're ready?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let's go. Favorite city in the world?
Vienna.
Favorite foreign meal?
Croissants.
The furthest you've traveled?
Vietnam.
Favorite South African dish?
Braaibroodjies.
Your next travel destination?
New Zealand.
First thing you'll do after COVID?
Have a big party.
What are you most grateful for?
My family.
Awesome. So you were able to actually go above the average, and you answered 7 questions so well.
Oh my fuck, I say croissant is my favorite. What the hell?
I know. I was also like, Chanel, don't pause here. She did say something wrong, but don't pause. Okay, do you want to correct yourself? What is your favorite foreign meal?
Ooh, I would say I really enjoy pho from Vietnam, but I didn't know how to pronounce this, so I didn't want to pho, so I didn't want to say it wrong.
The best. Hands down, that was the best. So my personal favorite story about pho is that, so last year I had bronchitis and the flu in a 2-month period. So that's what happens when you move to the States. In winter, you get sick. And then we went for pho, and it was like the best thing I could have had during that time. It was just like so warm, so hot, and the food was so good with the noodles and like the different meat pieces. Like, I just, after that, I was like, look, I'm sold on pho. Like, we can have this every week. We can have it every day. I absolutely love it now. Yeah, oh, that's so awesome. I think my boyfriend's gonna love the fact that you said that pho is your most favorite foreign meal. Margot, thank you so much for being on Chatz with Charnie. Thank you for sharing your wealth of experience and knowledge and wisdom that you gathered over the past 4 years to share with our viewers. I think it's so important that South Africans know that there are other South Africans that are going out there. They are taking that leap of faith. They are taking that leap outside of their comfort zone, and they're doing big things, and they're making big decisions, and it's paying off in life. Yes, it is, daunting. Yes, it's not always great times. There are times that you do cry. I mean, I think both of us have cried many times over the past years.
Yes.
But when you look back at everything that you achieved, and not in terms of like accolades and things like that, but just personal growth, all those tears and everything we've been through is worth it. If you
no,
so
definitely.
Thank you so much. Margot is in South Africa at the moment, so enjoy the rest of your stay in South Africa, Margot. Have a splendid time with your family. Enjoy the beach. I know that you probably have been to like Clifton and Campsbury already, but if you haven't, please enjoy going there again. And just all the best for the new year and what God has in store for you. May all the things that are in your heart, your desires, come to fulfillment.
Thank you, Charnie. I really appreciate it.
No, of course. So, viewers, is there anything lastly that you would like to say? Any last bit of advice? Anything that you'd like to say, Margot?
Like I said, I think the world's a big place. If you have the opportunity to go, just, go give it a try. You have really nothing to lose, I think, at the end of the day. It's obviously different for different people, but I would say I've had a great experience living and working in Luxembourg. And if you do want to travel abroad, I know a lot of people may not consider it, but it's actually like a really nice place, and I've grown to really love it and met some really amazing people while living there. And so you never know what can happen. The world's a big place.
There you have it. You never know what can happen. The world's a big place. So just go out and venture and do the things that are in your heart to do. Thank you again, Margot. And bye to all the viewers. And thanks for watching Chatz with Charnie.